Hello and welcome back to Hollowacreshomestead. Homestead. My name is Stephanie and this video is going to be about homeschooling. This video is what you really need to know about homeschooling. More than anyone can do it and you can do it anywhere and you don't have to have a schedule and things like that. This is like what you actually need to know about homeschooling. So a little backstory about our family's homeschooling is that I homeschool my 3 kids in 3rd grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade. We just started our new school year last week, so today's Monday, today was week 2, day 1, and we just love homeschooling. We prefer it to public school. We make our own schedule and do school whenever it is convenient for us. I choose the curriculum and lesson plans that I choose to teach to the kids along with all of the work that I give them. I teach my kids what I feel is necessary without all of the busy work and all of the stuff that they really don't need. My kids do not spend their days doing 8 hours worth of schoolwork and sitting down for 8 hours. That's just not something we do. We have fun. School does not have to be really long and really hard. It can be relatively short. Our school days are Monday through Friday. We will either start at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. Really depends on the day, but usually that's whenever we start. And we are usually done by lunchtime so that we have the rest of the day to do whatever we want. Of course, if it's on a day later, then we would finish after lunch. Our school days are only 4 hours long, and that is just enough time for the kids to learn what they need to learn, do the work that they're supposed to do, and then we're done for the day. And then we have the rest of the day to do what we want to do without having to worry about the books and schooling all day. So if you are considering homeschool or already do homeschool and are just looking for maybe some tips, some ways to make your life easier, I hope that I will be able to help you with that. I am not an expert at any of this. This is my 3rd year homeschooling. But I think that it's time that I show you guys a little bit more than just gardening stuff. I'm going to actually start showing and talking about my life and our life and how we're living it and what we're doing. It feels really weird. This is super weird for me. I am stepping out of my comfort zone. That is what I'm doing. I'm very private and I'm trying to be more open. So here's to that. Let's get to the stuff. I made a list. I write lists, handwritten notes. So let's start right at the beginning. I'm going to be talking about South Carolina because that is where I live and these are the SC laws that I know. So in South Carolina, you have 3 options to choose for your homeschooling. There's option 1, option 2, and option 3. Now I will leave a link below of the SCED website with all of the homeschooling information for the options. So you're not going to have to take my word for it, even though it's correct. You'll be able to have the link and look at it yourself. You really should do your own research. Schooling has to be done legally, or you could get into trouble with law enforcement, truancy. So you want to make sure really that you're doing it legally. Most important. I have my phone here with the webpage that is linked below, and I'm just going to read it off what it says. I'll give you a little bit of extra information on it in case it seems confusing, because it does. So option 1 allows parents to homeschool their children under the auspices of a school district if approved by the Board of Trustees. So basically that means a public homeschool option. Your school district might offer homeschooling through the school district. That is, that's what option 1 is. Or if you've heard of K through 12 online schooling, that's also option 1. It is a public school provided at home. Option 2, parents may homeschool their children with the support of the South Carolina Association of Independent Homeschools. So that's like small private schools, homeschools with like a classroom setting. So like, for example, there's a group of parents that all want to homeschool their kids together, and they support the group and teach the group certain weeks or days or whatever it is. That's just an example. I've not done that before, but I've heard of it. And option 3, parents may choose a homeschool association which has no fewer than 50 members and meets the homeschool requirements. The parents or guardians select the particular homeschooling option that is best for the children. Okay, I guess I didn't have to read that last line there. But option 3 is basically you have no association with any school district. You do have to be registered with a homeschool association through the state, but most of the time the associations, you pay them their yearly fee, which is like $10 to $25, maybe $30 depending on the association, and it is for that school year that you are legally covered to homeschool your children without any help from public schooling. You have to keep all of the records for everything that you teach the kids. You have to follow a curriculum, or at least the SC standards, which is standards per grade level per kid. Did I say that right? Per subject. Yes. Per grade per subject. So click the link below to read more about that. Do more in-depth research than just reading one web page, though. If you're really considering either option 1, 2, or 3, really look into it, figure out exactly what it covers, and go from there. We chose to do option 3. We're not affiliated with anybody. We don't have to answer to nobody. At the end of the year, we send our homeschool association the printout of grades or a end-of-year assessment. Get an overall grade, pass or fail. That's what they want to know. That's what they put in their books. That's what we have to put in our homeschooling books and records. After choosing your schooling option, you are then going to need to find an association. Some associations have social media pages and meetup groups. I will link an association website below. From there, you should be able to navigate and look at every single one of the associations. Really look at them. Make sure that you are choosing the right one that best works for you and your family. So what about the curriculum? What do I teach? When you're trying to figure out what to teach, the best place really to start is looking at your local state's standards per grade level. So like I was talking about, the SC standards per grade level per subject. I will link below a website for the SC standards per grade level per subject, and you will be able to see exactly what is required per grade level per subject by SC law. And if you're in a different state, then it would be, different state regulations. Look it up is my point. There will be an outline of what the kids need to know from the start of the year to the end of the year. And you don't have to follow it step by step verbatim. Mix and match. Do things that you feel necessary to teach. From here, you can hand pick workbooks, lesson plans, worksheets, or you can look at purchasing a complete curriculum, which can get expensive. That is all dependent on you. As far as option 3, I guess I should say that I'm kind of talking as if it were like option 3, where like you're just doing it on your own. You don't need no help. I'm just kidding. I didn't mention it before, but the 5 subjects that are required, I'm pretty sure every single state, but for SC law is language arts, or reading, writing, social studies, math, and science. That is required, and then there are electives like art and music, sports, things like that. So for curriculum, for me, for what I use, I guess another little backstory is our first year. Our first year, we used Abeka. I ordered a bunch of books that I thought that I needed, and it turns out that we didn't even use the books. It was just busy work. It was a lot of busy work. And there was some teaching in there that I didn't necessarily agree with, so I just didn't feel like that was our route for education. So I have decided then to take the time, make my own lesson plans, figure out what I'm going to be teaching them, and I found that the easiest way to teach my 3 kids, which are in 3 different grade levels, is to take the same basic concept, the same type lesson plan, what I'm teaching them, and teaching them the same thing, but giving them grade appropriate work. It is a little bit of extra work for me, but it works best for us. So how long do you have to be in school? You are required by law to be in school for 36 weeks or 180 days. However you choose to schedule this is up to you. Typically, kids will have 4 9-week semesters. For my kids, that is entirely too long. They really start losing interest after week 5. So our year is consistent of 6 6-week terms with 1 break week in between each 6 weeks, and we have a long winter break, average summer. I use a planner for my planning, wouldn't you know? So this is my planner. Right now it's consistent of all school stuff, but I also put, if I have things going on in my life, I put them in here. Can't see that. I was going to show you the inside, but you can't see that. You're not going to be able to see the writing through the camera. So this is a yearly and weekly planner. I got this on Amazon. I can put a link below for this as well. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Not that you can see this, but this is the monthly side. What I put in the monthly calendar is everything for the whole month that's going on, appointments, play dates, library days, field trips, things like that. And then for my weeklies, which you also can't see, it has the whole week laid out, big long blocks with lots of writing space for each day of the week, including Sunday. So this is step one for my planning. And while I laid my book down, I bet you've noticed all these books around me. I got all of these books except for my planner. I just said I got that from Amazon. I got all of these books from thriftbooks.com. If you want to see all of the books that I got that I will be using this year, I will have another video coming out for that. It will be next. If it's already out, then there'll be a little card up here for that. Stay tuned for that if you want to see what I got. Fun stuff, cool things, great prices. I will also leave a link below for a referral code on thriftbooks.com. If you use the code and buy a book, you get a free book code voucher thing. You get a free book, and I get a free book. We all get free books. So, click the link. Okay, back to planning. So I will plan out, I like to try to plan out every 6 weeks typically, and it has been. I will do 2 or 3 weeks at a time because that is all the extra time that I have. There's not enough hours in the day, but I do my best. I also have a bunch of folders. The kids have folders with their name on them, and a binder that I keep all of our homeschool stuff in. You see that shelf? You see the top right there? The whole top? That's all folders for homeschooling and the binders and our association cards and things like that. That's all up there. I had this out because I was planning. Now we do a lot of work and those folders and binders fill up, right? So every 6 weeks at the end of our term, I will go through everything and I put it in a box marked with the school year. So for the rest of the year, every 6 weeks, I'm putting the papers and everything in that box so that it is there. I have it for record, and I'll probably toss it in 2 or 3 years. Keep the things that I love, like art projects and stuff, or work that they do really good on. I'm sentimental, I keep things. This really helps to keep down the thickness of the folders, while also that stack of 6-week papers tracks the kids' progress, everything that they have been doing, so that I know what they're doing. And also on our 6th week, on Thursday and Friday, we will do the testing for each subject that we learn for the last 5 weeks. So we have our first 5 weeks of learning stuff, and then the first 3 days in the 6th week is studying for the test that I have to make up. So I kind of do that in the 5th week. I feel like I'm getting off. My point was, we test on the 6th week for what they have learned the previous 5 weeks. This also helps them to retain the information. It's a short amount of time. If needed, I will do a lesson review if they didn't quite grasp something or if they didn't get a good enough grade. Typically, I want them to have at least C's. B's and C's. They don't have to be A students, but we're home and they have the internet and they have all these resources. There's no reason why they shouldn't be getting A's unless it's just laziness. If you have older kids, you know what I'm talking about. So where do I find affordable books for schooling? Well, I just spoiled that for you a little bit. thriftbooks.com. Also Amazon, you can go to thrift stores. I got a lot of books from the Restore in Columbia. A lot of books. Did I say thrift stores? Maybe. eBay. A lot of places to get a lot of books, and they don't even have to be new. They can be used. Probably as long as they're not written in. For worksheets, I use education.com and Teachers Pay Teachers. Those are the 2 sites that I use the most. We also have the workbooks that the kids can write in. So kind of help me out when I'm trying to figure out what to teach. Like, oh no, I don't know what to teach, right? Look in their books, see what they have in common. For videos, we use YouTube mostly and Udemy. YouTube is awesome. Everything's free. A lot of information is out there. Udemy has a lot of middle school classes and college courses. There's all kinds of courses and things on Udemy. You do have to pay for most of it though. So consider that. Is there anything else that you should know about homeschooling? The important stuff. Well, anyone can do it with a GED or college degree. Yes, it can be stressful and many days may leave you feeling drained, but it is worth it. Our first 2 years homeschooling were pretty tough. The first one was super tough because it was like half virtual. But this year 3, I think we have a good rhythm as long as I can get my planning down pat. I got a lot of books to really help out this year, and I think they're going to. And with anything you do, you need to learn how to do it. You're not just going to be a really good teacher at first. You're going to get really stressed out if you do not know what you are doing. So with anything else, you have to learn how to do it. There's a lot of information on how to homeschool, how to be a teacher whenever you're not a teacher, you're just a mom or just a dad. There are also a lot of free online websites that you can go onto, like abcya.com, funbrain.com, Splash Learn. There's a bunch. I can probably put a link below for common websites like that as well. Now, ending this video, let me just say real quick, it is my main job in life as a mother to raise well-rounded children that will grow into being well-rounded adults that can function in society. They need basic math skills, basic life skills, actually quite a few life skills. You need a lot of life skills that are not taught in public schools. They need to know their history. I think I put out not enough fingers. How to read and write, how to treat people nicely. They need to be taught manners. It's called home training. And kids need to be taught how to manage their emotions. They do. It is my job as a mother, it is your job as a parent to do those things and prepare your child for adulthood, because they're not going to be a kid forever and they need to learn certain things to function in society. They just do. So that is my job and that is my goal. Now, of course, the list goes on and I can keep naming off like a billion things. You get the gist. Main goal. Parenting goals. So the best that I can do is the best thing that I can do. We all learn new things and grow a little each day, and if you need to hear it, you are doing a great job. It's tough, but you got this. So there it is, my 5 things that you really need to know about homeschooling. Maybe a little bit of fluff and background information, maybe that wasn't quite necessary, but hey, I'm a rambler. Catch the next video coming out, the thrift book haul. I really do hope that this information was useful to you and gives you a good starting place and some encouragement. Look below for the links for all the stuff that I said. And if you want to know what books I am using this year to teach my kids, I will have a video coming out for that tomorrow. If it's already out, then a little clip should pop up here somewhere on the screen. Thanks for watching. I'm sure it was a long video. Thank you for staying till the end. And I'll see you next time here on Hollowacreshomestead.